Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from N2 Toys, we are featuring Mad Max the Road Warrior, recommended for mature collectors. Alright, so as you can see here, this thing is kind of falling apart. This is a really old toy. This came out, I want to say back in 2000. So you're looking at an action figure that's 24 years old, which, man, this kind of blows my mind. I remember buying this back in the day. So this was something I did have at one point in my life. But then I remember I sold it years ago, and I always regretted it ever since. And with the new Furiosa movie coming out, I kind of have the Mad Max. I kind of have the Mad Max bug. I kind of have this itch for like anything Road Warrior related. Whether it be toy cars or action figures. A few weeks ago, one of my local theaters had a screening for Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, and that just kind of like got the ball rolling and really kick-started everything. And I'm like, man, I need to go back and find some of these old toys. So I found this on eBay. It came as a set. It was this and the Gyro Captain, which I'll review in another video. The seller warned, that the bubble, came off of the card, which I didn't mind. I was going to open it up anyways. So let's take a look at the card first. All right, so we have Mad Max, the Road Warrior. Here in the States, the movie was just called The Road Warrior when it was initially released so many years ago. But I think everywhere else in the world it was called Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, since it was the sequel to the first Mad Max film. You have a nice image of actor Mel Gibson. On the back, Mad Max the Road Warrior. Max, the heroic loner who drives the roads of outback Australia in an unending search for gasoline. Arrayed against him and other scraggly defenders of a fuel depot encampment are the Bizarre Warriors, commanded by the Humongous, notorious for never taking prisoners when they can pulverize them instead. So here are all the figures. So back in the day, I had Max, and I had Wes over here. There's the Max variation with the Feral Kid. There's the Gyro Captain, which I'll review in another video. There's Humongous, and then there's the Warrior woman over here. This was produced by N2 Toys, and some of you might remember way back in the day, N2 Toys also had a line of Matrix action figures, and that was prior to McFarlane having the license. And let's take this out. So I haven't taken this out at all. As you can see, the bubble, it's really gone beyond just turning yellow. It's like a weird copper. So, I'm going to throw this out. I don't know if the figure is sun damaged or not, because it might be, just because his flesh tone, it's very pale and almost very anemic looking. Where here it kind of has like a more of a reddish hue. It looks a little bit more lifelike. And the trade is completely shattered with plastic exploding everywhere, which is terrible. It's almost like tiny shards of glass. I gotta watch out for this later. Yeah, I'm like scared of... God, I'm like... I'm like terrified. All this crazy sharp plastic just exploded. Let me cut through it instead. I think that's the smarter way to do it. Yeah, look at it. It's just the plastics is starting to like explode and crumble apart everywhere. It's wild. Alright, there's that. Alright, let's get to this figure. So, we're looking at something that's 24 years old. That is nuts. Alright, so we have Mad Max. So, the likeness to Mel Gibson, it's not really there. It's kind of much more of like an approximation. His head surprisingly doesn't turn. So, this gives you the quality of the toys we got back in the early 2000s and late 90s. A lot of action figures, even though they're super detailed, they weren't the most articulated things. Like this guy, his arms move. This one's kind of stuck. And then his legs move. And even though his legs are articulated, you can move them, but he couldn't really hold a pose because it's not like you could balance him because his knees wouldn't bend or his ankles. But that's not to say these figures were bad. You know, in some ways, I kind of appreciate this action figure more so than some of the stuff we get nowadays. For one, the paint application is just incredibly detailed. Just look at it, all the dirt and dust. He looks like he really came out of the outback in a post-apocalyptic world. I kind of wish his flesh tone wasn't sun damaged, because I do believe the original figure had a much more pinkish hue. Let's get him into focus a little. Yeah, but it's nice, you know. I mean, just look at the weathering and the, you know, all the dirt and sand. It looks really cool. And it's pretty true to the details also. Even though the likeness isn't there, you know, he has the one shoulder pad. He has his tools hanging off his jacket. He has the jacked up knee brace because he messes up his leg in the first film. He has his knife. Does this come out? No, it doesn't. And the sculpting is really well done also, because it kind of gives you the impression that there's a knife actually tucked underneath his boot. Yeah, so it's a great looking figure. You know, the likeness isn't the greatest, but, you know, if you want Mad Max action figures, there's not a whole lot to choose from. There's a lot of unofficial, like, 12-inch figures on the secondary market. Those are often from, like, China, and those command, like, crazy, ridiculous prices. You're looking at stuff that retails anywhere between like $150 to like $200, you know, for the larger 12-inch unofficial Mad Max figures. And then if you could find licensed figures, there's another brand that's out. Those go for a lot of money. I think like $80 a pop. And those are for the Road Warrior also. Here is the dog accessory. It's all right. It almost looks more like a pig than a dog. If you have the G.I. Joe Classified series, it's a completely different breed of dog. But if you have the Junkyard and Mutt 2-pack, that comes with a great articulated dog. It's not the same breed as the one we see in the Road War, but if you wanted to like give Mad Max a much more articulated pet, you know, go for that. Go for it. I do believe this is sub 6 inches, I think. Or maybe it's roughly 6 inches. Here's a Marvel Legends Darwin figure. So yeah, it's about a 6-inch scaled action figure. Here's his shotgun, his sawed-off shotgun. And this is really nice. The paint application and detailing is really tight on this one. You know, it actually looks like a wood grain finish. And of course, it looks kind of beat up and like it's been out in the desert as well. It'd be nice if they drilled out the barrels, but you know. And then here's his binoculars. You know, he uses these often in the film. I'm not sure if you could store this anywhere on this figure. I don't believe so. And it's kind of weird too, because he comes with binoculars, but it's not like you could pose them to like actually pretend he's like using them, because the arms are so limited in their articulation. And I don't think you could hang them off anything either, which is weird. But his shotgun will go into his hand like that. And then if you've seen the film, you know that Max is kind of low on ammo during the movie. But yeah, it's a cool action figure. I'm glad I have it. It's like I said, you know, there isn't a whole lot of Road War merchandise to be out to go out and get. Maybe with Furiosa, maybe we'll get some action figures for that. Fingers crossed. Maybe someone will, hopefully like McFarlane will announce that they have the license. But yeah, we have Mad Max the Road Warrior. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.